My mission was over. After 214 days on a world that wasn't supposed to trust me, I had done the impossible. Peace treaties signed. Hostility reduced. A war that could have wiped out entire star systems. Quietly avoided. I was finally going home. The shuttle engines hummed beneath my feet, steady and reassuring. Earth was waiting. Gravity that made sense. Skies that didn't glow violet at night. People who didn't analyze your emotional state through bioresonance. Everything was normal again. Or at least, it should have been. The hangar lights dimmed. Not because of failure. Because something had entered. I froze mid-step on the boarding ramp. Slow footsteps echoed behind me. Measured, deliberate, powerful. I didn't need to turn. I already knew who it was. You intend to leave without informing me. Her voice didn't just reach my ears. Pressed against my spine. Turned slowly. The alien queen stood at the far end of the hangar, framed by glowing organic walls that pulsed like a living heartbeat. She looked almost human. Almost composed. Silver hair cascading over her shoulders like liquid light. But her eyes, they held something deeper. Ancient. Calculating. And right now, focused entirely on me. Your Majesty, I said carefully, forcing calm into my voice. There was a farewell ceremony. There were speeches, I added. Music. Someone nearly burned down the hall with plasma juggling. Her expression didn't change. You did not speak to me. That hit harder than it should have. I exhaled slowly. It seemed unnecessary. She began walking toward me. Each step caused the floor beneath her to glow faintly, responding to its ruler. The distance between us shrank. And with it, my confidence. You believe your purpose here has ended, she said. That's how missions work, I replied. We finish them. She stopped just a few steps away. Close enough that I could see the faint glow beneath her skin. Close enough that I could feel it. That strange, invisible pressure between us. Our connection, she said quietly, does not follow your mission parameters. I forced a small smile. Connection. Dangerous word. Complicated word. She tilted her head slightly. You remember the reactor incident? Course I did. The moment everything changed. The core had been collapsing. Systems failing. No time to think, only act. To stabilize it, we had done something no human or her species had ever attempted before. We synchronized our biosignatures. Our neural patterns. Minds. Just for a few seconds. Just long enough to survive. But something had gone wrong. Or maybe, something had gone right. The synchronization should have faded, she continued. It did not. I swallowed. What exactly are you saying? Her gaze locked onto mine. It remains active. Was. Partially, but permanently. The words settled like gravity. You're telling me, I said slowly, that because we saved a reactor together. Yes. We're still connected. Yes. That sounds like a design flaw. Her lips moved slightly. Almost a smile. It is not a flaw. Then what is it? She stepped closer. Too close. It is a bond. Silence filled the hangar. Behind me the shuttle emitted a soft warning chime. 5 minutes to departure. Plenty of time. To make the wrong decision. I rubbed my forehead. Okay. Let's assume that's true. What does this bond actually do? Her expression didn't shift. When you prepared to leave, my cognitive field destabilized. And blinked. You're saying me packing my bags affected you? Yes. That sounds like anxiety. It is not anxiety. Then what? Her voice softened. Loss. That word hit differently. Too human. Too real. I looked away for a second toward the shuttle. Earth. Normal. Everything I understood. And yet, is it dangerous? Yes. Yes. I laughed once under my breath. Of course it is. If you depart now, she continued, the instability will increase. How much? Unknown. That's not comforting. It is accurate. Another silence. thicker this time. You could stay, she said. No command. No authority. Just an option. I looked back at her. For how long? Until the bond stabilizes naturally. And that would take. She hesitated. Several cycles. Months. I translated. Yes. My implant pulsed faintly. Earth command waiting, expecting, counting on me. Duty had a voice. Loud. Clear. Logical. But right now. It wasn't the only one. If I stay, I said slowly, it won't be because of this. I gestured vaguely between us. It will be for research. Scientific cooperation. Something official. You require justification, she said. I require survival. For a brief moment. She smiled. A real one this time. Then we will call it research. The shuttle chimed again. 3 minutes. I turned toward it. This was it. The moment. Leave. And everything goes back to normal. Stay. And step into something no human had ever faced before. Closed my eyes. Thought about Earth. Then about the reactor. About her hand gripping mine as everything was falling apart. About the moment our heartbeats aligned. Perfectly. Exhaled. And made my choice. Earth command, I transmitted calmly. Requesting temporary extension of mission parameters. Was. Define reason. Open my eyes. Looked directly at her. Unanticipated variables, I said. Potentially historic. Behind me the shuttle powered down. Its engines fading into silence. The hangar lights brightened again. And for the first time since arriving on this planet, I wasn't a visitor anymore. You chose to stay, she said. I shook my head slightly. I chose to understand what this is. Her gaze softened. Then we begin. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. My mission hadn't ended. It had just become something far more dangerous. Because war was simple. This was something no human had ever been trained to survive. Connection. 3 days after I chose to stay, I realized something important. This wasn't research. It was a countdown. And no one knew what would happen when it reached 0. The Royal Biosynaptic Laboratory didn't look like any place humans would call science. There were no metal walls, no screens, no wires. Everything was alive. The floor pulsed beneath my bare feet, reacting to my weight like a calm, breathing organism. Above me, strands of glowing tissue curved through the air, forming patterns that shifted like thoughts made visible. And right in the center, 2 platforms. One for me, one for her. This is unnecessary, I said, staring at the softly glowing tendrils hovering near my head. Across from me, the alien queen stood perfectly still, her silver hair pulled back, her expression focused. It is required, she replied. You said that last time, I muttered. We almost died. That was due to a collapsing reactor. Details. A faint ripple of amusement touched her face. That still surprised me. She was learning human humor. And somehow, I was learning her silence. Stand still, she said. I am still. More still. I sighed and stopped moving entirely. The tendrils descended. Slowly, carefully, until one brushed against my temple. Cold. Not painful. Just intimate. Like something reaching past your thoughts instead of into them. The moment it made contact, the world shifted. I didn't move. But suddenly, I wasn't alone inside my own head. It wasn't like hearing another voice. It was deeper than that. Presence. Structured. I inhaled sharply. You feel it, she said. I swallowed. Yeah, that's new. No, she replied softly. It is not new. She was right. This wasn't new. It was just stronger. Clearer. Before it had been background noise. Now, it was a signal. And it was getting louder. The chamber around us blurred slightly. Not physically, but perceptually. Colors deepened. Sounds stretched. My heartbeat echoed. And then, matched something else. Steady. Controlled. Her heartbeat. froze. That's not normal, I said. It is alignment, she answered. On Earth, we call that a problem. Another flicker of warmth brushed across my thoughts. Not mine. Hers. He was amused. And I felt it. Not as observation. As experience. Okay, I said quickly. We need boundaries. Mental walls. Something. You are attempting to resist. I am attempting to not lose my mind. You will not lose it. That's exactly what someone says before you lose it. For a moment. Nothing. Sudden flash. Fire. Light. Pressure. The reactor. The memory slammed into me without warning. The moment everything went wrong. The alarms. The heat tearing through the chamber. And her hand grabbing mine. Desperate. Synchronize, she had said. And we did. Felt it again. Not just remembered it. Relived it. The fear. The urgency. The impossible moment where two completely different minds became one system. I gasped and staggered slightly. The tendrils pulsed brighter. Stabilize, she said sharply. I'm trying. Focus on neutral cognition. Define neutral. Mathematics. Groaned. You're kidding. Prime sequences. Orbital calculations. Anything without emotional weight. I squeezed my eyes shut. Numbers. Equations. Anything to push the memory back. Slowly. The pressure eased. The shared space between us stabilized. Not gone. But controlled. I opened my eyes again. The lab returned to clarity. The scientists, tall, silent figures beyond the translucent barrier, were watching closely. Studying. Measuring. Tell me something, I said, breathing carefully. Yes. What happens if this gets worse? She didn't answer immediately. Her silence told me everything. That's not a good sign, I muttered. Finally she spoke. If the bond intensifies without control. She stepped off her platform. Our cognitive systems may begin to merge beyond separation. I stared at her. You mean permanently? Yes. And we're just testing this. We are preventing it. That's not what it feels like. The tendrils slowly withdrew. The connection didn't disappear. It lingered. Quieter now. But present. Always present. She walked toward me. Each step deliberate. Measured. But I felt something new now. Not just her presence. Her state. Concern. Carefully controlled, but real. You are adapting, she said. I don't have a choice. You do. I laughed softly. Yeah. What's the alternative? Severance. The word hung in the air. Dark. Cold. Define severance, I said. Her gaze didn't waver. A procedure to terminate the bond. And the cost was unknown. I shook my head. That's not a risk. That's a gamble. It is a necessary option. No, I said firmly. It's a last resort. Another silence. But this one felt different. Lined. For the first time since this started. We agreed. Suddenly, the entire chamber flickered. The glowing strands above us pulsed erratically. The scientists reacted instantly, their harmonic signals rising sharply. What was that? Asked. She turned slightly, listening, not with her ears but with something deeper. The resonance. Her voice tightened. It is reacting. To what? She looked at me. Directly. To you. Before I could respond, pain hit. Not physical. Something else. A surge of dissonance tore through the connection. Dark. Violent. Wrong. I dropped to one knee. What is happening? You are experiencing external stimulus, she said quickly. What stimulus? Her eyes narrowed. Your implant. My heart skipped. Earth. Message. Strong one. Urgent. And the bond. It amplified it. Turned a signal into a shockwave. Disable it, she ordered. I can't. Now. I slammed my hand against my temple, forcing the implant offline. Instantly. The pain stopped. The connection stabilized. But the silence that followed was worse. I looked up at her. Slowly. That wasn't random, I said. No. That was Earth. Yes. A realization hit me. Cold. Heavy. If a simple message can do that. I swallowed. What happens when they call me back? She didn't answer. She didn't need to. Because for the first time, I felt it clearly. Not her thoughts. Not her words. Her fear. And that's when I understood the truth. This wasn't just a bond anymore. It was a risk. A dangerous, unpredictable, galaxy-level risk. Because if I left, it might destroy us both. And if I stayed, it might change everything. You said we could control this, I said quietly. Her voice softened. We can try. I let out a slow breath. Then we'd better figure it out fast. Why? I looked at her. Because Earth doesn't wait. And somewhere deep inside the connection, something shifted. Not fear. Not uncertainty. Something stronger. Something human. Determination. The message from Earth didn't come quietly. It arrived like a command. Unavoidable. Absolute. I felt it before I even activated my implant again. Pressure. Pull. Like gravity, but sharper. Stronger. The bond reacted instantly. The moment I reconnected, pain exploded through my mind. I dropped to one knee, gripping my head as the signal tore through me. Stop! Gasp. Across from me, the alien queen stiffened. Her breath hitched, not in fear but in impact. She felt it too. Every bit of it. Disconnect, she ordered. I can't. It's priority override. The signal forced itself open. Earth command. Director Havren's voice filled my mind. Ambassador, respond immediately. This is a level 1 recall. Each word wasn't just heard. It was amplified, echoed, shared. She heard him. Through me. Her eyes widened slightly. They are inside the link, she said. Yeah, I strained. I noticed. Terminate the connection. I said I can't. The chamber lights flared violently. The biosynaptic strands above us pulsed out of rhythm. The entire system was destabilizing. Ambassador, Havren's voice sharpened. You are ordered to return to Earth immediately. Your condition is now considered a potential threat. Threat. That word hit harder than anything else. Not because it was wrong, but because it was right. I forced myself to stand. Define threat, I said through clenched teeth. Your neural synchronization with the alien entity is no longer contained, Havren replied. We are detecting cross-signal bleed. This is unacceptable. The Queen stepped forward. Your interference is the cause, she said coldly. Havren paused. We are receiving an additional signal. Of course you are, I muttered. That's kind of the problem. The connection surged again. This time, not just pain, conflict, her presence, his voice, my thoughts, colliding. You will disconnect from her immediately, Havren ordered. No, I said. Silence. Heavy, dangerous silence. That was not a suggestion, he replied. And this isn't a normal situation, I snapped back. Another surge hit. Stronger this time. The Queen staggered slightly. Not from weakness. From resonance overload. If you remain linked, Havren continued, we will initiate forced extraction protocols. Froze. Define extraction, I said slowly. No answer. I didn't need one. Understood. They would remove the implant. Cut the connection. Whatever it took. Even if it killed one of us. You cannot allow this, she said quietly. I looked at her. For the first time. Her control was slipping. Not visibly. But I felt it. Fear. Real fear. They will harm you, she continued. They'll harm us, I corrected. Another pulse. Stronger. The lab alarms began to rise. Harmonic frequencies turning sharp and unstable. The scientists beyond the barrier were panicking. This is escalating, one of them signaled. No kidding, I muttered. Ambassador, Havren said, voice now cold final. You have 10 seconds to comply. 10 seconds. Choose. Earth. Duty. Everything I was trained for. Or. This bond. This impossible, dangerous, unprecedented connection. 10. The Queen stepped closer. You must decide, she said. I know. 9. If they force separation, it could destroy us, she finished. 8. Closed my eyes. Thought about Earth. Normal life. The reactor. Her hand in mine. The moment everything aligned. Perfectly. 7. I opened my eyes again. Clarity hit. Unavoidable. I'm done choosing the safe option, I said quietly. Ambassador. Havrin demanded. Took a breath. Then spoke clearly. Negative on recall. Silence. Complete. Absolute. You are refusing a direct order. Havrin asked. Yes. Another pause. Then we proceed with extraction. Everything happened at once. The implant surged. Pain beyond anything before. The bond reacted instantly. Violently. The Queen cried out, not loudly but sharply, like something inside her was tearing. The chamber erupted into chaos. Stabilize the link, the scientist signaled. It's collapsing. No, she said, forcing herself upright. It is not collapsing. She looked at me. Is locked. It is evolving. Felt it. The difference. This wasn't random anymore. It wasn't unstable. It was changing. Don't fight it, she said. I'm not planning to. Focus. The pain surged again. But this time, I didn't resist. I leaned into it. Into the connection. Into her. And suddenly, everything aligned. Perfectly. The noise vanished. The conflict disappeared. Earth's signal. Muted. Not blocked. Integrated. Controlled. I stood still. Breathing evenly. Alive. Beside me. She straightened. Stable. Connected. What just happened? I whispered. Her voice was steady. We adapted. I let out a slow breath. Of course we did. The lab fell silent. The alarms faded. The scientists stared in stunned disbelief. Synchronization, stabilized, one of them said. Impossible, another replied. I reactivated the channel. Earth command, I said calmly. Silence. Ambassador. Your readings have normalized. Yeah, I said. We figured it out. What exactly did you do? I glanced at her. Then back ahead. We stopped fighting it. Another long silence. Havrin exhaled slowly. Explain. I smiled slightly. That's going to take a while. Weeks later, the galaxy changed. Not through war. Not through power. But through something no one expected. Understanding. The bond didn't break. Didn't consume us. It became something else. Balanced. Controlled. Bridge. Between two species that were never meant to connect. When I stood beside her in the Imperial hangar again, felt different. Not tension. Not uncertainty. You could have left, she said. Yeah, I replied. But that would have been boring. A small smile touched her lips. You are unpredictable. I've been told that's a human trait. It is now an advantage. I looked out at the stars, then back at her. So what now? She stepped beside me. Now, she said, we build something new. He nodded. Together. Her answer was simple. Yes. And in that moment, I understood what made humanity special. Not strength. Not technology. Not even survival. 'Twas this. The ability to face the unknown. And choose connection anyway. Because sometimes, the most powerful force in the universe isn't war. It's trust.